Hi, I'm Ryan Anthony, and previously on Creativity Worth Expressing, we had special guest Daniel Quintero, aka Arriba Dude, share with us his passion for clean comedy, stand up humor. And for today's episode, I want to present to you a dear friend of mine, author Tiffany Skylark. She is the author of the Roquiel Saga, and I hope that you enjoy this interview.
I'm Tiffany Skylark. That's my pen name that I go by. I've got my books here. I don't know if that'll show up, but sort of. This is the first one that I published. It's the first in the Roquiel Saga. There are three books in total in that. It's an epic fantasy set on a different planet. Most of the main characters are elves in that one. Um, I also made this, it's like I call it the omnibus version. It's all three books in one. I kind of recommend people to get this because that way, I mean, it's a good deal. And that way you have all three books in one. I also have two novelettes, which are short novels, also fantasy. One of them's more paranormal based. A book of fantasy short stories, and then also a children's book, which I took the pictures for in a local park. It's interesting. I've heard a lot of writers say this, but it's totally true that once you develop these characters and they're well established in your mind, they sort of take on a life of their own. Like they'll talk to you, they'll do things you didn't expect. Because it's kind of like when you're writing a book, at least for me, it's like you're watching a movie of what's happening, and then you're trying the best you can to describe what you're seeing. And sometimes the movie will go in unexpected places, and it's just really fun, to see that and play around with it. That's a good one. It's something, I mean, maybe for some people, but for me, it's not on demand. Like if I'm not feeling it, I can't just sit down and write if I'm not feeling it. If you don't feel good physically, or you're tired, or you're stressed out, it's just not gonna happen, personally. So that's why I always have a lot of respect for people who write full time and it's their entire career, because it's got to be a lot of pressure, like having those deadlines. And I personally don't, I mean, it'd be great to be a full-time writer and have that be your career, but it's just hard with having the pressure, you know, and deadlines and all that. I just sort of need to be low stress, calm as possible. I try to get it to be quiet, even when you are in the mood. So it's something for me that can't be forced. Stack here, let me see. One that I've recently found, I follow him on Instagram, Brady Hunsaker. He's got it's the Ring Dweller series. This is the first book, called Scorned Prince. I highly suggest you follow him on Instagram. He's very funny. His reels are super hilarious. And especially if you like fantasy, that book is very good. Another person is Emily Hayes. She goes by Song of Heroes on Instagram. Also another great page, but this is by her. It's called The Last Atlantean. And it's mostly set in Atlantis, also a little bit on the east coast of the US, uh, back in the past 100 or 200 years ago or so. And it's one of the few books that I've read over and over. Like I usually read a book once, and that's it. But this one, if I'm looking for something to read, I'm like, should I read this one again? Or this one, Seventh City, is also by that same author, Emily Hayes. And if you're looking for a children's book, William O'Sullivan is a really good writer. He's based in England. Um, this is one of his children's books, Billy the Fox, which is really good. It's a little bit longer. I don't know. It's not necessarily for super small kids. It's developed or divided into 7 chapters. So it's a little bit longer, but I read it to my son. You know, you can do a chapter a night or whatever, but that book's really cute too and has a lot of good lessons in it. Yeah, I'm working on one. I've translated most of my books into Spanish. I've done 2 of the 3 books of the Roquiel saga. I've translated them to Spanish myself. I still need to do the third. So I'm working on that. I'm also working on another epic fantasy. It doesn't have a title yet, so I can't tell you what it's called, but it's about a woman who she's a human but lives on another planet, and she is sent to Earth to kind of integrate with us and study us in a sense. And it happens to be very convenient because she just committed a crime and needs to get away from some people. So I'm still working on that. Not sure when it'll be out. Hopefully, sometime this fall.
Thank you for watching this episode on creativity worth expressing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and please share this with others. Thank you very much and have a fantastic day.